everyone. Thank you as always for joining. Let's begin with a centering breath. It's really wonderful to take any opportunity that we can to just come present. So as you're watching this, just take a nice deep breath in. Breathe in through your nose and breathe all the way down into the bottom of your lungs, and use this breath to just come present and breathe out. Awesome. So I'm going to be talking today, sharing about what I've come to know about our intuition, our third eye, and energy sensitivity, just briefly. I am about to launch a course on astral travel, and I've gotten some really lovely feedback and questions from people that actually are the foundation for work in the astral, and it's about sensing energy, trusting our intuition. So first, sensing energy, as I've come to know it, is a good thing. There were a handful of questions from people who, there's a word that's become popularized in our culture. It's called being an empath. And there's a lot of yes-no literature out there as to whether or not it's a good thing, how to protect yourself. In general, I've come to understand from Spirit that energy sensitivity is a wonderful thing. Much like being able to feel air on your skin, or having taste buds, or having vision. Just because we see bright light doesn't mean we'd want our eyes to stop working. We have to find ways to adjust our sensitivity, because the world that we live in at present is full of static, and as your sensitivities start to turn on, it can be kind of normal to be overwhelmed. So first, sensitivity is good. I wouldn't ever be hard on yourself for being able to sense and feel energy. Second, learning to protect yourself, learning to choose when to see, learning how to take care, and really the most important thing that you can do, if I can share in a nutshell, take time for yourself every day. Take time to meditate, take time to be still. We, at this juncture on our planet, as I mentioned, are exposed to an awful lot of energy and static and noise, and it's really important to be silent. It's really important to be still. Our ancestors taught us to spend about an hour a day just being still. That can seem a little bit outlandish for those of us in modern society, but the principle's there. It's important to be still, and it's important to be sensitive. And now, one of the ways that sensitivity is just so fun and powerful is through our intuition. As our third eye opens, we can step into seeing and sensing and understanding and knowing things that we might not have known or seen before. So I'm going to jump in next to what it means to see with our intuition, to see with our third eye, and how we can optimize this. And now every single one of our energy centers has an intuitive ability about it, in the sense that our energy centers, our chakras as we know them, are way more intelligent and see and sense and process things that our conscious mind certainly could never even comprehend. Much like the organs of our body, if we had to tell our heart to beat every single time it needed to beat, we probably wouldn't be here. So our chakras, akin to our organs, are always taking in, processing, and giving out energy. So they sense so much. And I'm going to start with our lower three chakras. I've mentioned in earlier podcasts and YouTube videos that humanity has been sort of stuck for the last, several hundred years of time in these lower three chakras. And it very much serves as a mechanism for what some would call social control to keep people in a state of fear for their own well-being or for their ability to provide for themselves, stuck in pleasing themselves and giving and receiving pleasure, almost in the sense of an opiate. And also, as we move up, that was our root and our sacral, by the way, and as we move up to our solar plexus, our ego can get involved and we can get stuck in demonstrating our power and in our own identity. Now, none of this is wrong. We live in this world and we're supposed to feel safe. We're supposed to have a roof over our head. We're supposed to enjoy food. We're supposed to enjoy falling in love. We're supposed to feel pleasure. We're also supposed to have an identity, and we're supposed to be able to feel confident. All of that, all of those lower three chakras are oh so necessary, and they function optimally when the energy moves up into the upper four. So getting to our intuition and getting to our third eye, there's a couple things to note about our solar plexus and our sacral. And it's pretty common to, when you're using your intuition from the lower chakras, to tune into your gut feelings. And there's nothing wrong with tuning into your gut feelings. In fact, for many of us who have sort of signed up to perhaps have families or social situations where not everybody spoke the truth. Not everybody just simply said what they needed to say and was a clear channel for communication. Or maybe we were around people who abused substances, alcohol, drugs, all of these things that humanity has around us. These can affect these lower two chakras and cause us to rely on our gut feelings, because we've learned from the external world that we can't trust these upper chakras because the people that we're around aren't necessarily being direct. So again, there's nothing wrong with any of this. I'm sharing this as information for you. As always, take what feels real for you. So when we're operating from our intuition, from these lower two chakras, we rely on our gut feelings. These gut feelings aren't wrong, but these gut feelings can keep us stuck in a state of fear, and they're almost a little bit slow in the ways that we actually can intuit information, and our ability, they don't really get us into our ability of when to know, when to act, and what to do with all of this information. So bear with me, I'm going to keep going. As we move up into our heart center, and our heart center, as I've mentioned before, is oh so powerful. This heart center, as we use it as a source of our intuition, as we learn to tune into the energy within our heart center, this heart center is just totally right on the money, right on the spot with everything that we need to know and intuit and feel. So when we venture into our intuition as allowing the information to come through our heart, and really it's trusting our heart, trusting our own heart intuition. Now just sit with that for a moment. See if you can kind of soak in what it means to trust your heart and how that's different from trusting your gut. And see if you can start to sense that when you trust your gut, it's not wrong, but it's very much, there's a little bit of a state of fear or distrust where we have to trust our gut. When we move up to trust our own heart, we step into our own power. We step into our own world. We step into our own energy. So we're no longer relying on information from the external world. Our heart center, when we connect with it, we intuitively know this is 100% us. This is 100% our own light, our own intuition. So when you start to connect with your heart, with this sense of tapping into your own inner knowing, I encourage you, as you start to use this, whenever you're starting to habitually tune into your gut, see if you can move it up into your heart. And maybe you just want to do that right now with something that you're sort of wrestling with in your own life as to whether or not you know the truth. So whatever is present for you, just notice what that is. And take it into your heart center. And as you connect to the light of your heart and you connect to this deep, wonderful wisdom that's within your heart, see if you, with your intuition, get any new information. What does your heart say? What does your heart light say? What does all of your inner knowing say? If you simply trust your heart, what do you feel is true? Wonderful. And now just allowing that to be. I want us next to move up into our third eye. So take this knowing, this wisdom, up into your third eye, up into your wisdom center of knowing and seeing all, essentially. So the heart speaks this truth, this inner knowing, and the third eye can help us really know when to act, know when to speak, know when to be silent. And the wonderful thing about intuition is you come to tune into it. A lot of people ask me, well, how do I know when I'm supposed to tell somebody something that I see? At first, the answer is probably a lot less than you think. And this third eye center can help us with that, of knowing when it's appropriate to act and to speak and to share. And our third eye helps us see what is in the highest good for all. So our heart center is 100% purely our energy. As we move up into our third eye, we're able to connect out to everyone and everything. And as we consider ourselves a part of the whole, and as we remember that our own sovereignty is oh so important to us, so is everyone else's, our third eye helps us with this very subtle but oh so powerful type of wisdom that is what's best for the whole. So as you start to move up out of your gut, move into your heart, trust your own light, trust your own heart center, trust all of your own energy, and see clearly and hear clearly and feel clearly, moving that up into your third eye to connect clearly to, perhaps it's a person that you're thinking of, perhaps it's a situation, to connect to the greater good of the entirety. And sometimes our third eye is really awesome because maybe we just get a no, it's not time to share, and we don't even understand why, but our third eye knows and sees and feels likely a lot more than our conscious mind does at this juncture. So I encourage you to, as you move up from the heart into the third eye, to ask again, what's the best and highest good to do with this information, this wisdom, this intuition that we have? And just allow your own intuition to speak, to show you. Awesome. So, I hope this was useful and helpful in sort of parsing out what's good and what's bad. And the answer is all of our intuition is good. And we're at this juncture on our planet at this time where we get to really fully inhabit these upper four chakras, our heart, our throat, our third eye, and our crown. And we get to move the energy up and down through our energy centers. But really remembering how to tap into the wisdom, the intuition, and the knowing of these upper chakras. And I want to really share for a moment back down to the throat center. So our heart is 100% our energy. Our throat is also our energy. Our throat is our ability to create, as I've mentioned, our ability to sound, our ability to speak our truth. And the wonderful thing about the throat is informed both by the third eye and the heart. And when we speak from our heart, our truth, we're oh so powerful. So as you choose and feel confident in speaking from your inner knowing, know that this is 100% your voice, and you can trust all of your intuition, and you can trust all of your knowing. All right, a couple more points that are just really, I think, a part of an essential foundation of understanding our intuition. Choosing when to see. Now, as your intuition opens, you'll likely start to see a lot. And I've had a couple experiences, one in my childhood where I could see pretty much everything. And that got shut down because it wasn't really convenient for me as a kid to be able to see and speak the truth with total clarity. And as I awoke again in my adult life, there was a time where I could see, I would be out at events and I could see every single person's, aspirations, their strengths, as well as all of their limiting thoughts, all of their limiting beliefs. And that's pretty overwhelming. And I encourage you to, as you start to be able to see, to consciously choose to see. And to think about it as every person is still sovereign. So whatever you choose to see, it's your responsibility to act with the highest wisdom on what you see. And I actually encourage you, as you start to see, to choose to see first and foremost yourself, and then also to see those who have given you permission to see. This is wonderful because it allows your intuition to really work optimally. It allows your intuition to flow to and from another person. And if you don't have permission to see, as I've mentioned in the past, perhaps you can ask the person's higher self if they're willing to let you see. Sovereignty, as I've come to understand it, at least for the long term, is oh so important and always will be present. And for your own energetic well-being, choosing when to see is very much like choosing to be sensitive and knowing that your ability to feel energy is good. But also you don't have to feel all the energy around you all the time, just as you don't have to see everything around you all the time. You get to sort of harness and focus this ability, and think about it like a laser beam. When you want to focus, you get to focus. And it's very much a training ground. And in my upcoming course on using the astral realm, not using it, actually just getting comfortable being in it and being light in the astral realm, this is when we get to sort of flex these muscles that are our abilities, our inner knowings, and all of these aspects of ourselves that we're just beginning to understand. The last note that I want to share is it's oh so important to stay grounded. And there's two ways to do this. One, as we move up through our energy channels, up from our base, up into our heart, up into our third eye, we're naturally calling ourselves into our main energy channels. So as you call yourself into your heart, you can imagine right on the center of the spine is where that heart center sits, and you kind of can just pull yourself back to your core. And I've come to know this heart center really is our authentic core. It links all the upper chakras and all the lower chakras. So one way to stay centered is right at the center of your chest. It's also important to stay grounded and connected to our Mother Earth, because we are in these bodies that are supported and nurtured and protected by her. So as you consider your connection to our planet, we have below us what many have come to know as the Earth Star Chakra. And this is just an energy center that sits below your feet and connects you to the energetic core of the planet. And you might start to connect that energetic center and down into the center of the earth. You might just simply think about yourself as having energetic straws down through the bottom of your feet that extend down into the core of the planet. Or maybe it's more comfortable to think about them as roots. The idea is that you come to understand that your energetic field always permeates down into the soil of the Mother Earth. And it's important to stay connected to that rhythm, to that sync, to that heartbeat of Mother Earth, as this is very much linked to our own heartbeat and our own energetic rhythms. So, the other thing that you can do in closing, staying connected to Mother Earth. Also, whenever you need, it's important to know that you can clear yourself, you can clear your aura, you can clear anything about your field whenever you'd like to. You can use the light from your heart. You can shine golden light out into your entire aura and imagine it as a cleansing experience. You can also use salt water. And what's coming to me now as we're connecting to our Mother Earth is placing your feet in salt water. If you're near the ocean, imagine that you're releasing out into the salt water any heavy energy. Also, it might be a nice time to make a ritual of placing your feet in salt water before you go to sleep, just to cleanse the energies of the day that you may have picked up. All right, I hope that this was helpful. And my closing message to you is, it's really healthy to be sensitive to energy. It's also really important to take good care of yourself, to spend time cleansing your energetic body and being silent, meditating, allowing your energetic body to speak to you and to rest, as we live in a world with a fair amount of static right now. And then to keep going, to be thrilled and excited about coming to understand your natural abilities, and to consider to move your intuitive knowing up from your gut into your heart, and then from your heart into your third eye, and when necessary, out through your throat. All right, thank you for joining. Namaste and much love.